Greetings, everybody. My name is Mohammed Sonic Boom, and today we are going to do the new Cyber Dragon / Cyberdark deck profile, post from Cyberstrike and Brothers of Legend, and everything else too. Yeah. So without further ado, we're gonna go start with the deck profile. So for the monsters, I run triple copies of Cyber Dragon. Why do I run Cyber Dragon? Because when my opponent controls a monster and I don't, I can special summon it. Even can go into your rank 5 plays if you bring out Dry and make itself level 5. Or bring out hers with Cyber Rev system, whichever comes first, yep. That's why Cyber Dragon will be the only card you need to run. And for the other monsters, I run triple copies of Cyber Dragon Core. Why do I run Cyber Dragon Core? Because when I normal summon it, I can add a Cyber Spell or Trap card from my deck to the hand. And if my opponent controls a monster and I don't, I can banish Core and then bring out a Cyber Dragon monster from my deck of any kind. Yep. Either way. Also for the other Cyber Dragons, I run Dry. I run hers. Because with Dry, when I normal summon it, I can make all Cyber Dragons become level 5. I can even combo off with Veer, you know. But I can only special summon any machine type monsters. But when it's banished, I can target Cyber Dragon I control and it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. But his name also becomes Cyber Dragon while in the graveyard, like Core. And with hers, his name is also Cyber Dragon while on the field or graveyard. But when special summon, I can make this card's level become 5 until the end of the turn. But as into the graveyard, I can add another Cyber Dragon to my deck or graveyard. And also with the Manchester I run, I could discard I usually would discard Cyber Dragon and special summon itself. And I can bring back the Chester, you know, and combo off of Dry and make it level 5, yeah? And just like that, I also run Veer. Because, when I normal special summon a Cyber Dragon, I can special summon it to my hand in defense position. Besides, comboing off with Dry, summon Dry, then bring out Veer, then bring out rank 5 plays, you know, like that, yeah? But each Cyber Dragon gains, his name becomes Cyber Dragon while on the field or graveyard. And each Cyber Dragon I control gains 500 attack and defense, you know? That's the beauty of Cyber Dragons. Yeah. And last but not least, I run Zwei. Why I run Zwei? Because his name becomes Cyber Dragon while in the graveyard. But I can reveal a spell and its name becomes Cyber Dragon until the end phase. But when it attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 300 attack during damage step. Yeah, but with Zwei, you can reveal a spell in your hand, and his name becomes Cyber Dragon while on the field until the end phase. But oh yes, it's why Zwei would be easier to run. And as for the other, I don't need to run Proto Cyber Dragon because it's not even good enough for me. Also, I run Cyber Valley. Why I run Cyber Valley? Because I can either use one of these effects. Like when it's targeted by an attack by an opponent's monster, I can banish it and draw a card and end the battle phase. Even so, when I can target one face-up monster I control, I can banish both of them to draw 2, like banishing Dry, and preventing Cyber Dragon from being destroyed by battle or effects. But I draw one card in my graveyard, and I can banish both and another card and another card from my hand and place at the top of the deck. That's why Valley will be good. Also, the Cyberdark. Now we go to the Cyberdark monsters. Cyberdark monsters, I want double copies of Cyberdark Horn. Because when normal summon, I can target any level 3 or lower dragon type monster, and I can equip it to it. And it gains the attack points equal to the original attack points of the monster equipped to it by this effect. But when it attacks a defense position monster, my opponent takes piercing damage. But if it will be destroyed, I can destroy the equipped monster instead. Also, I run 2 copies of Cyberdark Edge. Why do I run Cyberdark Edge? Because when it's normal summon, I can target level 3 or lower dragon type monster also, and equip it as well. Either Explode a Dragon or Cyberdark Cannon or Attachment Cyburn. but it gains the attack points equal to the original attack of the monster. But it can attack directly, but during damage calc, the attack points is cut in half. And if it'll be destroyed by a battle, I can destroy the equipped monster instead. Also, I want one Cyberdark Keel. Why do I run one Cyberdark Keel? Is because when it's normal summon, I can equip a level 3 or lower dragon type from my graveyard to it. And yeah, it gains the attack points equal to the monster equipped. But if it destroys a monster by battle, my opponent takes 300 points of damage. I mean, you can combo off with Cyberdark Cannon or Cyberdark Claw, you know? But if it'll be destroyed by battle, I can destroy instead. Let's go to the others. So for the other monsters, I want double Cyberdark Chimera. Why do I want double Cyberdark Chimera? Because I can discard a spell and I can add power bonds my deck to the hand. But I can only use Machine Cyber monsters as fusion Dragon or Machine Cyber monsters as fusion material this turn. And if I fusion summon this turn, I can also banish monsters from my graveyard as material. But if it's sent to the graveyard, I can send a Cyber Dark monster from my graveyard with different name from the cards in my graveyard. So you can only use this once per turn, yes. Only use each effect of Chimera. That's why you can combo off with everything, yeah. I want triple copies of Cyberdark Cannon. Because with Cyberdark Cannon, if it's in the graveyard, well, since it's in the graveyard while equipped, I can draw a card. But when I can discard it, enemy sheet type Cyberdark monster, do your combos like bringing out Cyberdark Horn, Keel, or Edge, whichever comes first. But during damage calc, if a monster equipped with this card battles, I can send one monster from my deck to the graveyard, whichever one I can choose. Like either Chaos Dragon Levineer in my side deck, or Dragon Roy, whichever comes first. And also, the other monsters I run is triple Cyberdark Claw. Because whenever, if it's into the graveyard while equipped, I get to add back a Cyberdark from my graveyard to the hand. But I can discard this card, add a Cyberdark, I can discard this, add a Cyberdark Speller Trap from my deck to the hand. And during damage calc, if a monster equipped with this card battles, I can send a monster from my extra deck to the graveyard. Like either Cyber End Dragon or Cyber Eternity Dragon or Cyber Twin Dragon, whichever comes first, maybe. Now for the other monsters, I want one Exploder Dragon. Why? Because if it's destroyed by battle sent to the graveyard, I'm going to destroy the monster that destroyed it. And neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving it. Well, I don't need to run Infernal Dragon because it doesn't even do anything, you know. Like it says, like saying that during the end phase, if this card attacked this turn, I can destroy this card. But when this card on the field destroys into graveyard, I can tribute the one monster and special summon it from the graveyard. I mean, Infernal Dragon, it's not even gonna look good for me anyway. That's why I don't need to run that. I want one attachment Cyber. Why? Because I can try one Dragon Machine type Cyber monster I control, and I can equip it from my hand or field to it. But while equipped, the equipped monster gains 600 attack points. And if it's sent to the graveyard while equipped, I can target one other Dragon or Machine type Cyber monster in my graveyard and add to the hand. But I can only use this effect of attachment Cyber. Also, I want one Dragon Roid. Well, if it's in my graveyard, I can make it become a Dragon type monster while in the graveyard until the end of the turn. But I don't have any Roid monster in my deck. But the activation of my cards or effects I include in the fact that fusion summons cannot be negated. And my opponent cannot activate effects when a monster is fusion summoned this way. Cards or effects, either way. And that's why Dragon Lord will be essential, maybe. That's all for the monsters. Now we're going to go with the spells. The spells, I want double copies of Cyber Repair Plan. Why? Because if Cyber Dragon is in my graveyard, I can activate one of those effects. But if I have 3 more Cyber Dragons, I can in activation, I can activate both of them in sequence, like adding any light attribute machine type monster, or target one light attribute machine type monster in my graveyard and shuffle it to the deck. Or I can activate both of them in sequence if I have 3 or more Cyber Dragons in my graveyard. That's why I would run these, yeah. Also, I run double copies of Cyber Rev System, but then I can special summon a Cyber Dragon from my hand or graveyard. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Like if you have Zwei out, and if you reveal a spell, you can treat a Cyber Dragon. But with that, I can come off with hers and make it level 5 and bring out Cyber Dragon Nova, whichever comes first. Also, I run 1 copy of Cyber Eternal, because I can target 1 machine type Cyber Fusion monster in my graveyard. I can return it to the extra deck, or special summon it, ignoring the summoning conditions. But if a machine type Cyber Fusion monster I control be destroyed by battle or card effect, I can banish it from my graveyard instead. That's why I run Cyber Eternal. Also, I run double copy of Cyber Emergency. What I could do, I could add 1 light attribute machine type monster that can be normal summoned, or 1 that cannot be normal summoned or set, or a Cyber Dragon monster, whichever it comes. Either way, like comboing off with core. But if the activation was negated and sent to the graveyard, I can discard a card and add it back to the hand. That's why Cyber Emergency will come in handy. Also, I run 1 Cyber Load Fusion. Why? Because I can fusion summon any fusion monster that lists Cyber Dragon by shuffling the fusion materials listed into it on my deck, among the cards on my field, and / or my face-up banished cards. But the monsters I control cannot attack except with a fusion summoned monster. Like if you have Cyber Dragon on your field, or if you have any original copies of Cyber Dragon in your banished zone, you can shuffle them back, yeah. That's why Cyber Load Fusion will come in handy. Also, machine duplication. Like, you can use it on Chester or Core, and you can bring out 2 monsters with the same name, like 2 original Cyber Dragons. Comes in handy if you want to link summon or bring out Chimera Tech Mega Fleet or Cyber Dragon Nova. That's why you need this. And also for the Cyberdark cards, I run double Cybernetic Horizon, because it's also treated as a Cyberdark card. And what do you do with it? You can send 2 dragon and / or machine type cyber monsters with different attributes to the graveyard, 1 each from my hand and deck, and add a dragon or machine type cyber monster from my deck to the hand. And with that, if I do, I can send a machine type cyber fusion monster from my extra deck to the graveyard. But I can only activate 1 Cybernetic Horizon per turn, but I can't special summon any monsters during the turn I activate the effect, except for Cyber Dragons. Except machine type monsters. And the next cards I run will be 2 copies of Cyberdark Inferno. The only field spell that's ever worth it is working. Because Cyberdark effect monsters I control that are equipped with any equipped cards cannot be destroyed by my opponent's card effects. And my opponent cannot target it with card effects. What do you think I do? I can target a Cyberdark monster I control. I can return it to the hand, and I can immediately normal summon. If my one of my Cyberdark machine type monsters is under the control of Fiendish Chain or Shadow Spell, whichever it is, or Fogblade. But when this card in the owner's control is destroyed, you can add either any polymerization or fusion spell, whichever comes good for you, yeah. I run double copies of Cyberdark Realm. Because when activated, I can add a Cyberdark monster from my deck to the hand with a different name from the cards in my graveyard. But I can immediately normal summon any Cyberdark monster. But if I would equip a monster from my graveyard, by the effect of the Cyberdark monster is activated, if it's normal or special summon, I can even equip from my opponent's monster from my graveyard as well. But which would it be? Good question. I can only use 1 effect of Cyberdark Realm per turn. Also, I run Cyberdark Impact, because it's perfect for fusion summoning Cyberdark Dragon from my extra deck by shuffling back Edge, Horn, and Keel. This is the only thing that can come in handy, you know. So, we're gonna go to the other fusion spells, like Future Fusion for instance. During my first standby phase after this card's activation, I can show a fusion monster in my extra deck and send them materials from my deck, like Cyber Darkness Dragon or Cyber End Dragon. And who knows, Cyber Darkness Dragon can send 5 Cyberdark monsters. But during my second standby phase, I can infuse some of the fusion monster from my extra deck with the same name as it showed, and target it with this card. But if it leaves the field, I can destroy it. And when a target is destroyed, it's destroyed as well. I also want pulverization because it's very essential for bringing out a Chimera Tech or Cyber End Dragon or any kind, yeah? Even if you use Cyberdark Chimera, you can banish any monster, yeah? Also, I want 1 copy of Power Bond. Why do I want Power Bond? Because you can fusion summon any machine type fusion monster from my extra deck using monsters from my hand or field as fusion materials, and it gains the attack points equal to its original attack points. But it has a nasty effect, you know, like taking damage equal to the amount of attack gained from this effect at the time of the summon. I mean, I would even use that with if I have Chimera on the field, I can banish 5 of my Cyberdarks, you know, and give it its more strength. Yeah. The last card I run will be Overload Fusion. With Overload Fusion, I can fusion summon any fusion summon a dark attribute machine type fusion monster, like either Cyberdark and Dragon or Cyberdarkness or Cyberdark, either Chimera Tech Fortress or Mega Fleet, not Mega Fleet, Rampage or Overdragon maybe. That's what I would think of using Overload Fusion. The other spell I normally run would be 1 Super Strident Blaze. It's the only equipped spell I can use, you know, but my opponent cannot activate cards or effects during my battle phase. But when equipped monster attacks the opponent's monster, I can banish any Cyber Dragon monster. And it can attack an opponent's monster again, you know. But my other monsters cannot attack the turn I activate this effect. That's why Super Strident Blaze would be the one to come in handy. Also, I run the other spells like Monster Reborn, Burial from a Different Dimension, and Twin Twisters. Monster Reborn will be essential, you know. That's what comes in handy for most Cyber Dragon decks. That's all for the spells. Now we go to the traps. The traps I run will be Cyber Network. 1 Cyber Network so I can I destroy it during my third standby phase. But if I have Cyber Dragon on my field, I can banish any light attribute machine type monster from my deck. But when I send my field to the graveyard, I can special summon as many of my banished light attribute machine type monsters as soon as possible. And I destroy all spells and traps I control. The monsters that were special summoned by this effect cannot activate their effects. But I cannot conduct my battle phase also during the turn I activate the effect. Also, I run Cybernetic Hidden Technology. When an opposed monster would declare an attack, I can send to the graveyard 1 Cyber Dragon I control or a fusion monster I control. That lists Cyber Dragon as fusion material, but I can target the attacking monster and destroy it. I also run 1 Cybernetic Overflow. So all I can do is I can banish Cyber Dragons with different levels from my hand, from my field, and / or graveyard. And I can destroy any number of cards my opponent controls. But if it's destroyed by a card effect, I can add any cyber spell and trap I want from my deck to the hand. But I can only use each effect of Cybernetic Overflow once per turn. Also, the last one I run will be Cybernetic Revolution. While I contribute a Cyber Dragon and bring out any fusion monster from my extra deck that lists Cyber Dragon, 1 Cyber Dragon monster has material, but it cannot attack directly, and it's destroyed during the end phase of the next turn. That's why you can only activate Cybernetic Revolution once a turn. And now for the Cyberdark card, I run Cyberdark Invasion. I can activate one of those effects, like sending in a target 1 Cyberdark effect monster I control, and I can equip any dragon or machine type monster from either graveyard as an equipped spell that can give it 1,000 attack points. Or I can send an equipped card equipped to a machine type monster to the graveyard, then I can destroy a card my opponent controls. That's why Cyberdark Invasion would come in handy. As for the other traps, I want 1 jar of avarice to start your strategy over again, 1 infinite permanence, and rebirth judgment. Because I can declare a monster type, and monsters in my graveyards become that type for the rest of the turn, even after this card leaves the field. I mean, rebirth judgment, I can turn Cyber End Dragon into a dragon type, and I can use Cyberdark Dragon, equip Cyber End Dragon to it. That's what I'm thinking of. Now for the extra deck. For the extra deck, I run a Chimeratech Fortress Dragon. It cannot be used as fusion material, but it must first be special summoned on the extra deck by sending the above cards from either field to the graveyard without polymerization. But if the original attack points of this card becomes 1,000 times the number of fusion materials used. You know? 1,000, yeah. Also, Chimeratech Mega Fleet Dragon. Also cannot be used as fusion material. Requires a Cyber Dragon monster and one or more monsters in the extra monster zone. But it must first be special summoned on the extra deck by sending the above card materials to my either field or graveyard. But the original tap points of this card becomes 1,200 times the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summoning. Also, Chimeratech Overdragon. It said it must be fusion summoned. Requires a Cyber Dragon and 1 or more machine type monsters. Besides, if I fusion summon, I can send all of the cards I control to the graveyard. And the original attack points in defense of this card becomes equal to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon times 800. In each turn, it can attack my opponent's monsters a number of times equal to the number of fusion materials used for the fusion summoning. Now I can see how this happens. 10,400 attack points. I am going to need 23 monsters to do that. Also, I want Chimeratech Rampage Dragon. Why do we think I use this? Because it's only done with the above fusion material monsters. Because it requires 2 or more Cyber Dragon monsters. But when fusion summoned, I can target spells and traps on the field up to the number of fusion materials used. And I get to destroy any of these cards. But once turn, I can send up to 2 light attribute machine type monsters in my deck to the graveyard. For each monster sent to the graveyard, it gets additional attack. That's all for the Chimeratech monsters. Now we're gonna go to these Cyber Fusion monsters. Like I run 2 copies of Cyber End Dragon, because it's the only boss monster that can deal piercing damage, but vulnerable to card effects. Also, I won 1 Cyber Eternity Dragon. Could come in handy, you know. Requires 1 Cyber Dragon monster and 2 machines. But if I have a machine fusion type monster in my graveyard, my opponent can't target it with card effects. Well, if its fusion summoned card is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, like by battle or card effect, I can special summon the Cyber Dragon from my hand deck or graveyard. But I can banish it, and my opponent cannot target fusion monsters I control with card effects, and they cannot be destroyed. But my opponent's card effects this turn. That's why I run Cyber Eternity Dragon. The next card, the last one I run, is Cyber Twin Dragon. It's the only monster that's vulnerable, you know. It can make 2 attacks, you know. With Cyber Twin Dragon, could be the only target for Cyber Darkness Dragon. That's all for the Cyber Fusion monsters. So for the Cyber Dark monsters, I run Cyber Dark Dragon. Why? Because he's the only monster that requires Cyber Dark Horn, Edge, and Keel. And it must be fusion summoned. But if special summoned, I can target 1 dragon type monster in my graveyard, and I get to equip it. Like either Exploder Dragon or Dragonroid. And it gains the attack points equal to the original attack points of the monster equipped to it. But it gains 100 attack points for each monster in my graveyard. But if it will be destroyed by battle, I can destroy the equipped monster instead. And also I want Cyber Darkness Dragon. Because it must be fusion summoned, you know? But if it's It also requires 5 Cyberdark effect monsters, so it must first be fusion summoned. But if special summoned, I can equip a dragon or machine type monster from my graveyard to it, like Cyber End Dragon, and it gains the attack points equal to the original attack points of the monster equipped to it by this effect. But when my opponent activates a card or an effect, I get to send one equipped card I control to the graveyard and negate the activation, and if I do, I destroy it. And last but not least, the boss monster I run is the Cyberdark End Dragon. Why? Because it requires Cyberdark Dragon and Cyber End Dragon. It must first be fusion summoned or special summoned. It must be either fusion summoned or special summoned by attributing 1 level 10 or lower Cyberdark fusion monster equipped with Cyber End Dragon. But it's unaffected by opponent's monster's activate effects. For once turn, I equip 1 monster from either graveyard to it, and it can attack a number of times each battle phase, up to the number of equipped cards equipped to it. Like having 5 equipped cards, you can get 5 attacks. That's all for the monsters, fusion monsters. Now we go to the Xyz monsters. For the Xyz monsters, I want Cyber Dragon Nova. Why? Because I can use an overlay unit, and I can target a Cyber Dragon in my graveyard, and I can special summon it. Or I can, once turn I can ban. Quick effect, it says I can banish a Cyber Dragon from my graveyard, and or face up my monster zone. Then this card gains 2100 attack points to the end of the turn. But if it's a card in my possession is destroyed, sent to the graveyard by my opponent's card effect, I get to special summon a machine type fusion monster from my extra deck. That's why I run this. And also with Cyber Dragon Infinity, you can use Cyber Dragon to Xyz summon it. And yeah, it gains 300 attack points for 200 attack points for each material attached to it. And once turn, I can target a face-up attack vicious monster on the field, and I can attach it to it as an overlay unit. But if a card if a card or an effect is activated, quick effect, I can attach a material and negate it. That's why Cyber Dragon Infinity and Cyber Dragon Nova are essential to run. Yep. Also, last but not least, double copies of Cyber Dragon Seeker, the only Link monster I would ever use. Well, his name becomes Cyber Dragon on the field or in the graveyard. That's why I like running these, yep. And yeah, during each battle phase, if it did not declare an attack, I can target a machine type monster with 1200 or more attack points, and it gains the attack points. It gains 2100 attack and defense. And neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving Cyber Dragon Seeker. Well, I can only use it on Cyberdark Dragon, or Cyber Darkness Dragon, or Cyberdark End Dragon, whichever comes first, yeah? But his name also becomes Cyber Dragon while in the graveyard. He can be a target also for Cyber Rev system, maybe. Or Cyber Eternity Dragon, whichever comes first. Well, my side deck here could contain Cybernetic Fusion support, because I can have my life points. Because if I will fusion summon a machine type fusion monster, this turn I can banish monsters from my hand, field, and / or graveyard as fusion materials. And with Chaos Dragon Levineer, I can special summon it by banishing 3 light and dark monsters from my graveyard. But when summoned this way, I can apply the following effect. Based on the number of monsters banished, like only light, I can special summon a monster from my graveyard. Only dark, I shuffle a random card from my opponent's hand to the deck. And if it's both light and dark, I can destroy all monsters. Destroy up to 2 cards in the field, yeah? Well, he could be equipped target for Cyberdark End Dragon or Cyber Darkness, whichever comes first. Or Cyber Darkness, or Cyber Dark Dragon, maybe. Well, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to think. But this should be even easier, you know. Well, that's all for deck profile, so thanks for tuning in. This is Mama Sonic Boom, signing off. don't forget to comment, rate, or subscribe to my channel, people.